All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down the really powerful short story, Sometimes a Dream Needs a Push, by Walter Dean Myers.
So, at the heart of this story, you've got a father and a son. Their whole world, their connection, it's all built around basketball. But a single, life-altering event fractures that bond and sends them down two completely different paths. On one side, you have Dad, the former pro. On the other, his son, Chris, who's now navigating life from a wheelchair.
Okay, let's really get into this. We start with Chris's father, Jim Blair. This is a guy whose whole identity, everything, is wrapped up in this basketball dream that got snatched away from him. It's left this huge void that, well, nothing seems to be able to fill.
And look, this isn't just a list of stats on a player card, this is the blueprint of who he is. His height, his pro career, even the injury that ended it all, it's what made him. And you better believe that passion was something he was desperate to pass on to his son, Chris.
And then, just like that, a tragic car accident changes everything. It puts Chris in a wheelchair and it just shatters his father, who retreats into this painful, heavy silence. You know, the very thing that used to connect them, basketball, is now this source of just unbearable pain.
You know, it's Chris's mom who really puts it into words. She explains this immense weight of guilt his dad is carrying. Every single time he looks at Chris in that wheelchair, it's a reminder. And it's so heavy that he can barely even look at his own son, let alone talk to him.
But hey, right when it feels like all hope is lost, like things are just completely broken, an opportunity pops up that could actually change everything. Chris gets an invitation to join a wheelchair basketball team, a new game, and maybe, just maybe, a new path forward.
The contrast here is it's heartbreaking. You see Chris, and he's just ecstatic, right? He gets to play again. He's eager to get back to the sport he loves. But his dad? His reaction is just ice cold, distant, dismissive, and it just drives that wedge between them even deeper.
And you really see this distance at a game they go to. His dad doesn't even sit with them. He's off by himself, over by the concession stand, literally hiding behind a newspaper, just completely checked out from this thing his son is so excited about.
Later on, his wife asks him what he thought of the game, and all he can manage is this sound, this grumpa grumpa. It says everything, doesn't it? He's so shut down, so unwilling to engage with this new version of the game that he can't even form words about it.
But then, something begins to change. After all that pushing away, all that distance, the dad who couldn't even bear to watch, well, he does something nobody saw coming.
He just shows up at practice, doesn't say a word at first, just watches from the stands. But him just being there, that alone is huge, and it leads to this incredible turning point.
He goes up to the coach and drops this piece of pro-level knowledge on him. He's noticed that everyone's shooting for the rim, but he knows the secret, especially when you're shooting from a chair, is using the backboard. It gives you a much, much better chance of scoring. And then, this is the moment that changes the whole story. He asks the coach this one simple question. It's not just a question. It's him saying, "I'm done watching from the sidelines. I want in. I want to be on your level."
And what an image this is. For the very first time, this big, powerful ex-pro is completely vulnerable. He gets in the chair and just struggles with the same thing his son has totally mastered. And in that moment, when he looks absolutely lost, he turns to Chris for help.
And Chris's response, it's so simple, so calm, no problem. That's it. That's the moment the ice starts to break. And just like that, for this one beautiful moment, the son becomes the teacher.
So this brand new connection they have, it gets put to the test almost immediately. The team has a practice game against Madison, this undefeated powerhouse, and it becomes very clear, very fast, that this is about way more than just putting points on the board.
So, they get to halftime, and honestly, it is not looking good. Chris's team, the Hartsdale Posse, they're down 22-14. You can just feel how down they are in that locker room. The disappointment is real.
But instead of getting down on them, Dad steps in. He doesn't see disappointment, he sees strategy. And more than that, he gives them hope. He reframes the score, showing them, hey, this game is still totally within reach.
But it's one tiny word that changes everything for Chris. We. He hears his dad say, we. And that's it. That's the click. His dad isn't an outsider anymore. He's on the team. He's back in his son's world.
And you can see his coaching pay off right here. Look at this. They actually take fewer shots than Madison in that second half, but they make more of them. Now, they do lose in the end, but just barely. The point is, the backboard strategy works. It absolutely works. But that final scoreboard, it really doesn't tell the whole story, because the most important victory that day wasn't about the points at all. It was about something so much bigger.
So yeah, the scoreboard said they lost. But the team, they felt amazing about how they played. And the real win? Well, that was a father and son who finally found their way back to each other, using this new game, this new language of basketball, to repair what was broken.
And this becomes their new normal, you know? Dad's at the weekend games. He's at practice, teaching fundamentals, showing Chris how to line up a shot. He's not just a coach anymore. He's a dad, a proud, involved dad. The court becomes the place where they rebuild everything.
So the story really leaves us all with this powerful question. It's about resilience, yeah? And it's about adapting. But mostly, it's about the incredible power of family to find a new way to connect, even when an old dream needs a little push.